Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot, page 11, where we find a very fascinating concept which we can apply to our general lives. It discusses the situation of Yibum, in which instead of doing Yibum, marriage, you could also perform Chalitza. Now, if there are two women that you could do Yibum or Chalitza to, and the Talmud says one is kosher, and one is apostle, which means a little invalid to be able to marry a Kohen anyway. So the law is, if you would do Chalitza or Yibum with either of them, that would free the other one. So the question is, what is the best option? So he says, what you should do, even though it doesn't really matter to you personally, you should do Chalitza for the woman who is a apostle. And basically what that will do is it will free up this other woman so that she will still be able to marry a Kohen. Why? Because once a woman is divorced, in general, according to Jewish law, she is no longer allowed to marry a Kohen. A Kohen cannot marry a woman who's divorced. For that matter, a Kohen cannot marry a woman who had Chalitza performed, because it is very similar to an act of divorce, as it is a form of removing her from a relationship, a connection to her deceased husband's brother. And therefore, we're advised that when you could do Chalitza or Yibum with either of them, in order to free the other one, you should do Chalitza with the woman who is already invalid. And therefore, you will be able to continue to allow this woman to remain kosher to potentially in her future marry a Kohen. And it gives a beautiful analogy. And it says, if let's say you have this big body of water and you are totally hydrated, you do not need a drop, you should still not pour and waste the water, because there's a very good possibility other people will still need that water. So even if it's not something beneficial to you, you should still think of how your actions could have a positive or negative effect on others. So just like doing this action will help this woman to be able to still be able to marry a Kohen, so too when it comes to anything we do in life, we don't just do things because it's in our best interest. And when it doesn't have any positive or negative effect on us, we should just not care. We should always be aware and think of our actions and how it potentially can affect others.